Waylander, Chapter 9. Gellin ordered the wagons pulled back from the breach, and Karnak rode into the fort with 10 of his officers. He was a huge man, running to fat, who looked older than his 32 years. He dismounted beside Gellin and grinned. "Gods, man, you're a wonder," he said. Swinging round, he unfastened his green cloak and draped it over his saddle. "Gather round, you men," he shouted. "I want to see the heroes of Masson." "That means you too, Vanek," he called. "And you, Parik." The 25 survivors came forward, grinning sheepishly. Many of them were wounded, but they bore themselves proudly before the charismatic general. "Gods, I'm proud of you all. You've seen off a crack force of some of the best the Vagrians can offer. What's more, you've taken enough supplies to keep us for a month. But even better than that, you've shown what Draenei courage can do. Your deeds here will shine like a torch to the Draenei people, and I can promise you that this is only the beginning. At the moment, we may be down, but we're not finished. Not while we have men like you. We'll take this war to the enemy and make them suffer. You have my word on it. Now, let's get to Chptr, and I'll really show you how to celebrate." He moved to Gellin, throwing a brawny arm over the officer's shoulder. "Now, where's this sorcerer of yours?" "He's in the keep, sir. How do you know of him?" "That's why we're here, man. He contacted one of our priests last night and told us of your plight. Damn it all, this could be a turning point for us." "I hope so, sir." "You did wonderfully well, Gellin." "I lost almost half my men, sir. I should have abandoned the wagons 2 days ago." "Nonsense, man. Had we not arrived in time and you had all been killed, I would have agreed with you. But the victory was worth the risk. I've got to be honest. I didn't expect it of you. Not that I doubt your courage, but you are a cautious man." "You use cautious as an insult, sir." "Maybe I do. But these are desperate times, and they call for the odd risk. Caution won't send the Vagrians packing. And make no mistake, Gellin, what I said to the men was not mere rhetoric. We will win. Do you believe that?" "It is very hard not to believe what you say, General. The men think that if you wanted the sky green instead of blue, you would climb a mountain and paint it as it passed." "And what do you think?" "I am ashamed to admit that I agree with them. The men need leaders, Gellin. Men with fire in their bellies. When morale goes, there can be no victory. Remember that." "I'm aware of it, sir, but I'm not good with speeches." "Don't worry about that. I'll handle the speeches. You've done fine work today, and I'm proud of you. You know Pudol is still holding." "I'm glad to hear it, sir." "I'm going there tomorrow." "But it's surrounded." "I know. But it's important that the fortress holds. It ties down the bulk of the Vagrian force." "With respect, sir, it is far more important that you stay free. It is said they have put a price of 10,000 gold pieces on your head, almost as much as they've offered for Eagle himself." "Have you forgotten so swiftly what I just said about risks?" "But if they realise you're in Purdle, they will redouble their efforts to take it and bring in more troops." "Precisely. I'm sorry, sir, but I think it's insane." "That's where you and I differ, Gellin. You don't see things on a grand scale. Look at me. I'm too big to sit a horse with any confidence, and I am no cavalry general. Give me a fortress to hold, and I'm in my element. But Eagle is a strategist and a fine, wily campaigner. They don't need me in Chptr, but if I can get into Purdol, the Vagrians will mass troops there, giving Eagle a chance to break from the forest." "I see the logic, and I don't want to sound like a sycophant, but we need you. If you are captured or killed, the Draenei cause will be close to lost." "Nice of you to say so, but the plan is set. How do you fancy coming with me?" "I wouldn't miss it for the world," said Gellin, grinning. "That's my man," said Karnak. "Now, where is this sorcerer?" Gellin took the general into the keep where Dardalian sat with the children. "That is the sorcerer?" asked Karnak, staring at the young man in the silver armour. "I'm afraid so," replied Gellin. Dardalian turned as they entered and stood bowing to the general. "You are Dardalian?" "I am." "I am Karnak." "I know, General. You are most welcome." "You are the most unlikely sorcerer I ever met." "I'm hardly a sorcerer. I cast no spells." "You certainly cast one over the Vagrians. You saved the fort and every man in it. Will you ride with me?" "I should be honoured." Karnak smiled at the children, but they hid behind Dardalian. You know, I believe the tide is turning, said Karnak. If I can but avoid the soldiers around Purdol and the cursed Dark Brotherhood, I think we might just be ready to deliver a few death blows to the Vagrian hopes. The Dark Brotherhood are hunting you? Asked Dardalian. They have been for months, and added to that, it is said that Waylander the Slayer has been hired to kill me. That is most unlikely, said Dardalian. Really? You are a prophet also? No. Yes. It is not Waylander's way. You know him? Asked Karnak. Yes, he knows him, said Waylander, moving into sight on the stairway with his crossbow in hand. Karnak turned slowly, and Gellin moved in front of him. I am Waylander, and if I wanted you dead, you would be dead. So now all you have to worry about is the Brotherhood. You think I should believe you? It would be a wise move in the circumstances. I have 400 men within call, but they are not here now, General. That is true. So you are not here to kill me? No, I have other business. Does it affect the Draenei cause? And if it does, asked Waylander, then I will walk over to you and break your neck, said Karnak. Luckily, it should help your cause, said Waylander. I have been asked to supply Eagle with a new set of armour. They rode warily, a dozen scouts ringing the main party and the warrior general at the centre of the force, shielded by 6 riders. Dardalian rode on his left, and Gellin on the right. Behind them came the wagons, each pulled by 6 oxen. Danielle and the children rode in the lead wagon alongside the warrior Vanek. She found him to be an amusing companion. At one point, as the 2 lead oxen pulled in opposite directions, Vanek said straight-faced, "Highly train these animals, obey my every command. I'm making them do this." Behind the wagons rode the rearguard of 100 men led by Dundas, Karnak's aide, a young man with fair hair and a friendly open face. Beside him rode Waylander, and no doubt that he was a virtual prisoner. 4 riders sat their mounts close to him, hands on sword hilts. Waylander hid his annoyance and allowed his mind to wander as his eyes soaked in the green beauty of the Centran Plain, where it merged with the grey-blue mountains of the north. After all, what did it matter if they killed him? Had he not murdered their king? And what was so special about life that he should desire to extend his span? None of it mattered, he realised, as the mountains loomed ever more close. How much death had these peaks seen? Who would care about this petty war in 1,000 years? "You are an undemanding companion," remarked Dundas, lifting his helm and running his fingers through his hair. Waylander did not reply. Swinging his horse's head to the left, he made to canter forward, but his way was blocked by a rider. "The General thinks we should hold formation while in dangerous territory," said Dundas smoothly. "You don't object? And if I do? It will not be for long, I assure you." As the day wore on, Dundas tired of attempting conversation with the dark-haired warrior. He didn't know why Karnak wanted him guarded, and in truth, he didn't care. But then, that was Karnak's way, to explain only what was necessary and expect his orders to be carried out to the letter. At times, it made him an extraordinarily aggravating man to serve under. "What is he like?" asked Waylander suddenly. "I'm sorry, my mind was wandering. What did you say?" "The General. What is he like?" "Why do you want to know?" "Curiosity. I understand he was a first-done officer in charge of a hill fort. Now he is a general." "You have not heard of Margate and the siege?" "No." "I should really let the general tell it. There are so many wonderful embellishments to the tale now that it would not surprise me to hear that dragons have been introduced. But still, would you like to hear it?" "Were you there?" "Yes." "Good. I prefer first-hand accounts." "Well, as you say, Karnak was first done at Margate. The fort is not large, probably twice the size of Mason, and there was a small town outside the keep. Karnak had 600 men under his command. The Vagrians poured into Skoda and surrounded Margate, demanding our surrender. We refused and held off their attacks for the first day, then watched as they made their night camp. We had lost 60 men during the day, but we were holding well, and the Vagrians believed they had us all in their net." "How many of them were there?" asked Waylander. "We estimated 8,000. Anyway, Karnak had sent scouts to watch for the Vagrians. He never trusted their promises of peace, so we had advance warning of their attack. Do you know Margate? Waylander nodded. Then you know there is a small wood about a mile to the east. Karnak had taken 300 men there during the previous night. Now, as the Vagrians slept in their camp, he descended on them the darkest hours of the night, firing their tents and stampeding their horses. Our warriors made enough noise to be mistaken for a whole Draenei army, and we opened the gates and led an attack from the front. The Vagrians pulled back to reform, but by dawn we were away to Chptr. We must have slain more than 800 of them. Clever, said Waylander, but hardly a victory. What do you mean? We were outnumbered more than 10 to 1. Exactly. When you first received news of the invasion, you could have pulled back. What point was there in fighting at all? Have you no sense of honour? We gave them a bloody nose. We let them know the Draenei can fight as well as they run. But still, they took the fort. I do not understand you, Decaris, or whatever your name is. If running means so much to you, why did you go to Masson and help Gellin and his men? It was the only safe place, or rather, the safest I could find. Well, you will be safe enough in Chptr. The Vagrians dare not invade. I hope the Vagrians know that. What does that mean? Snapped the young officer. Nothing at all. Tell me about Eagle. Why, so that you can mock his achievements? You are young and full of fire, and you see mockery where none exists. It is not blasphemy to question a military decision. It could be, as you say, that Karnak's decision to give a bloody nose to the Vagrians was a good one. It would lift morale, for example. But it strikes me that it was a risky venture which could have whiplashed against him. What if the enemy had scouted the woods? He would have been forced to run, leaving you and 300 men trapped. But they did not. Exactly. And now he is a hero. I have known many heroes. Mostly, other men died to build their legends. I would be proud to die for Karnak. He is a great man. And beware of insulting him, unless you wish to cross swords with any man within earshot. I think your message is clear, Dundas. He is revered. And rightly so. He does not send his men into danger without risking himself. He is always in the thick of the fighting. Very wise, observed Waylander. Even now he plans to ride to the aid of Purdol. Is that the act of a vainglorious man? Purdol? It is surrounded. Dundas bit his lip and turned away momentarily, his face reddening. I would be obliged if you did not repeat that. I should not have said it. I am not known for being loose-tongued, said Waylander. It is forgotten. Thank you. I am grateful. It is just that I was angry. He's a very great man. I'm sure that he is, and now that we trust each other, I'm sure you will not object to my riding forward to speak with my companions. Dundas' face was a picture of confusion, but a resigned expression settled over his features. Of course not. I need to feel the wind in my face also. I will ride with you. The two men spurred their horses into a canter, and Waylander rode to the centre of the column. Karnak swung in the saddle as he approached, followed by the young officer. Welcome to our group, said the general, grinning. You've just missed the tale of Hargate. No, I did not. Dundas spoke of it, but were there dragons in your account? Not yet, but I'm working on it, replied Karnak. Come, ride beside me. I understand you and Gellin are old friends. We knew one another once, said Gellin, but not very well. No matter, said Karnak. Tell me, Waylander, why did the Brotherhood hunt you? I killed Cam's son. Why? His father owed me money. Gods, you sicken me, snapped Gellin. Excuse me, General, but I need to ride a while and stretch my back. Karnak nodded, and Gellin pulled his horse from the group. You're a strange man, said Karnak. Waylander smiled coldly. So are you, General. What are you seeking? Victory. What else is there? Immortality? Do not misread me, Waylander. I am no man's fool. I am vain. I am conceited. My strength is that I know what I am, and I am the finest general you will ever know, and the greatest warrior of the age. Yes, I want immortality, and I will not be remembered as a gallant loser. Count on it. Although they pushed on through most of the night, a sudden storm bogged down the wagons, and Karnak called a halt. Tarpaulins were hastily erected against the sides of the wagons to create makeshift tents, and the men huddled there together against the lashing rain. Karnak kept Waylander close to him, but the assassin could not help to notice the presence of two armed men who watched him constantly. Nor did he miss the venomous glance Karnak hurled at Dundas as the young officer returned to his men. Yet, for all that the general remained, on the surface, in good humour. Sitting below the crew tent, his clothes wet and clinging to his body, Karnak ought, Waylander considered, to cut a ridiculous figure. The man was overweight and outlandishly garbed in clothes of green, blue, and yellow, and yet he was still impressive. "What are you thinking?" asked Karnak, drawing his cloak about his shoulders. "I am wondering what on earth possesses you to dress like that," said Waylander, grinning. "Blue shirt, green cloak, yellow leggings. It seems that you dressed in stages while drunk." "I am not shaped for fashionable garments," admitted Karnak. "I dress for comfort. Now, tell me about this armour of eagles." "An old man asked me to fetch it for him, and I said that I would. There is no mystery to it." "How splendidly you understate your mission. The old man was Orion, while the armour is legend and hidden in the lands of the Nadir." "Dardalian told you. Well then, there is no need for you to question me further. You know all there is to know. I do not know why you chose to go. What does it profit you? That is my business, indeed. But the armour means a great deal to the Draenei, and that is my concern." "You have come a long way in a short time, General." "It is hardly the concern of a first done at a run-down fort." "Understand me, Waylander. I am a genial man with a heart of gold, when people humour me. Now, I like you, and I am trying to forget that a man dressed in black and carrying a small crossbow killed King Neolad. Such a man would receive swift sentencing. Why do you need to know?" Karnak leaned back, his pale eyes locking to Waylander's gaze. "I could use the armour. It would help me. It would not fit you, General. It can be altered. But it is promised to Eagle. He does not even know of it. You are a man full of surprises, Karnak. Here you sit on the edge of defeat, and already you plan your brilliant future. What is it to be? King Karnak? That has a ring to it. Earl Karnak, perhaps." "I'm not looking that far ahead, Waylander. I trust my judgments. Eagle is a fine warrior and a good general. Cautious, yes, but there is steel in the man. Given certain advantages, he could swing this war." "The armour would be just such an advantage," commented Waylander. "Indeed, it would. But it could be put to better use elsewhere." "Where?" "Perdol," said Karnak, leaning forward and watching Waylander intently. "The fortress is already surrounded. There is a way in. What do you have in mind?" "I will send 20 of my best men with you to fetch the armour. You will bring it to Perdol, to me. And you will stand on the battlements in Orion's armour of bronze and carve yourself a role in the history of the Draenei people." "Yes. What do you say?" "I say, forget it. Orion asked a favour of me, and I said that I would attempt it. I may not be a great man, Karnak, but when I speak, you can rely on my word. If it is humanly possible to retrieve the armour, I will do so, and deliver it to Eagle in Skultik, or wherever he may be. Does that answer the question?" "You realize I am holding your life in the palm of my hand." "I do not care, General. That is the simple beauty of this quest. I do not care if it is successful, and I care even less about threats to my life. I have nothing to live for. My blood runs in no living thing. Can you understand that? So I cannot tempt you with riches or with threats. That is true. It makes a nonsense of my reputation, does it not? Is there anything I can do to help you with your quest?" "That is a somewhat abrupt change of stance, General. I'm a realist. I know when to walk away. If I cannot have the armour, then Eagle is the next best thing for the Dreno. So ask. Anything you require. I require nothing. I have funds enough in Chptr. But surely you cannot intend to go alone. Ideally, I would like to take an army. But short of that, one man has more chance of success. What of Dardalian? His destiny lies elsewhere. He can and will prove useful to you. How soon do you plan to leave? Soon. Still you do not trust me? I trust no one, General. Trust implies need. Need implies caring. And you care for nothing, not even the women and the children. I care for nothing. I read men as other men read tracts. You're an open book to me, Waylander, and I think you are lying, as you lied when I asked about Cain's son. But we will let it lie. It matters not a whit, except to you. I will let you sleep now. The huge general pushed himself to his feet and stepped out into the night. The rain had stopped. Karnak stretched his back and moved off along the column, flanked by his two bodyguards. What do you make of him, Riz? He asked the taller of the two. I don't know, General. They say he fought well at Masson. He's steady, cool. But would you trust him? I think I would. I would certainly sooner trust him than fight him. Well said. I do have a question, sir, if I may. Gods, man, you don't have to ask. Go ahead. All of that about the armour. What would you do with it? I would have sent it to Eagle. I do not understand. That is where he plans to take it. All life is a riddle, my friend, said Karnak.